Yes, guys, welcome to Chasing Green Arrows. It's Friday, and it's the Friday before, Dean, the most exciting game week so far of the season, because not only are there four teams doubling, but two of those teams are two of the best attacking teams in the league. Goals, goals, goals for Liverpool Man City this game week, surely.
Oh, you'd like to think so, mate. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all looking forward to this one. Yeah, we're all going big, aren't we, on Man City and trying to decide what we do with Liverpool right now. People trying to figure out what's going on with Salah. Is he worth getting back into the mix? How many minutes is he going to play? Klopp seemed to suggest he's ready, but obviously, like the likelihood of him starting both games in such a short space of time seems pretty slim to me. Got Brentford away Saturday, then Luton at home on the Wednesday, then a cup final on the Sunday against Chelsea, which we have to consider. My hunch will be he won't start against Brentford. We'll start against Luton. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. I actually was doing another job actually. I do for William Hill, and they sent me over some stats about Salah. So Liverpool with Salah, 20 matches played, goals scored, 2.1 goals with Salah across those matches, and 2.3 points on average from across that the games when he plays. Now, it's obviously a much shorter comparison, but without Salah, Liverpool have played 4 matches. They score 3 goals on average when he's not playing.
Ooh,
so they score more.
Interesting.
The points is the same, 2.3. The points return is the same. The expected goals is slightly lower, 1.9 compared to 2.2. But their shots on target is actually up, 7.8 compared to 6.5. I don't think Liverpool need Salah to play against Brentford. So
yeah,
that's what I think is going to be interesting here. And Luton at home is a fixture you target as an FPL player for a big haul. Obviously, Luton are deceiving, and they have managed to produce performances that you perhaps don't expect at times. They've got a tough week playing Man United and then Liverpool in quick succession. But while I give him half a chance against Man United, I still don't give him much of a chance against this Liverpool team. No. Even if they're building towards a cup final and might be tempted to rest one or two, they're still going after a league title here. So it's not going to be like they can afford to take their foot off the pedal. They'll probably just want to get that game won. So, yeah, my hunch is going to be that Salah starts on the bench. FPL Rowie says, Klopp saying he's back in full training has me worried he will start. The guy heals super quick, rarely has injuries, and he is super fit. And I totally agree with that. He is a bit of a freak of nature, Mo Salah. He is one of the fittest guys in the game, and he looks after himself extremely well. Mo Salah is not the kind of player that's going to do a Wayne Rooney and go and have 8 pints after a game, is he? Mo Salah, very much the opposite of that. And yeah, it's a dilemma because even if he doesn't start that Brentford game, you've got that second match in mind, and knowing that Salah's going to be trying to look to build up form again, there's still that urge. If you can get there, he's not an easy player to get to by any stretch. But
if you
actually get a bit of an edge on people here because not everyone's going to be able to do it.
It's the one time in the game you can own Mo Salah and he'll feel like a differential. There's no doubt about that. His ownership is going to be lower than it's been for a long time, certainly amongst engaged managers. Liverpool, the early kickoff, we're almost certainly going to get a leak. If you're one of those engaged managers that around the deadline is on FPL Twitter, you're going to see leaks on FPL Twitter. So we're going to know. What I'd say to everyone watching, and hello to all of you chasers. I see there's some newbies in the chat. If you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button. And thank you all for liking. Good to see so many of our regulars. Freddie's in the house. Nuclear Atoms is there. CH. Hello, gang. We're going to know. Have a plan for, if you hear the news, Salah starts against Brentford, how will you react? Ask yourself that question now. And if your reaction is going to be, I will bring him in at all costs, then figure out now how you're going to accommodate him. Personally, if I see Salah starts, it changes nothing for me. My team and my squad, and we'll see our teams later, it's not set up for Mo Salah. I would need serious surgery. I'm talking 2-3 transfers and probably selling a De Bruyne, who I'm not willing to sell. So it doesn't make a difference to me. And I take encouragement from the stats that Dean's just said. Like, without Salah, Liverpool have coped just fine. Without Salah, they're scoring more goals. And one of those games without Salah was a really low-scoring XG affair against Arsenal, where Liverpool probably had their worst performance of the season. So take the Arsenal game out, and actually the Liverpool numbers have looked great. And if you've got Darwin, you've got Jota, I personally think you're good. How many minutes does Salah get over the double? He could get 120. Best case scenario, he gets a 30 and a 90, in my opinion. But you could argue Darwin and Jota are going to get similar. I would just err on the side of caution the fact that it's a hamstring. They're winning games without him. I'd be shocked if he started against Brentford. When Jurgen Klopp brought Jota back into the squad off the back of his injuries, we saw 3 or 4 cameos. When Trent came back in after that first injury, we saw a cameo off the bench or 2. I don't think it needs to rush Salah back, but arguably he is the fittest player in the game in terms of recovery and minutes. Like, the guy rarely misses games, but obviously when he's injured, it's a different story. So I mean, we'll do a poll in the chat. Do you think Salah starts versus Brentford? Yes or no? And I'm interested to know, for those that say yes, how many will bring him in? I wonder if a lot will, but he's just a different price point to anyone else. He's hard to reach, man. Really hard to reach.
Yeah, definitely. I can hear my kids downstairs, by the way, and they're both watching us today, G. They are off school. And so Dylan and Reese are watching right now. So I said I'd give them a quick wave. I know they'll be very excited to hear us say that. But yeah, they've been counting down. He's had it up on YouTube on the TV. I said, Dad, your show starts in 20 minutes. Dad, your show starts in 16 minutes. You better set it up. So yeah, Dylan's been waiting for this. So hope you're enjoying it, boys. They wanted to know if Haaland, because Haaland was on the picture. It was me, you, Haaland, and Jota on the image today.
Is he going to be here?
He'll be a bit disappointed to know that Haaland and Jota aren't joining us in the chat. But yeah,
I've got a surprise, mate. I've got a surprise. It's not Haaland per se, but I think I can probably, if I'm quiet, it's not actual real life Haaland. But check this out. Hang on. This is
what we got here.
Dylan requested it. I think we're going to see.
We've never been for a walkabout on chasing green arrows.
Can you see behind me? There's a massive Haaland there.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Right in the back there.
Absolutely gigantic, mate. I shouldn't walk around too much because I don't want to take the mick with the favour I've got from coming into the Premier League offices.
That is a huge
Haaland. That is a 20-foot Haaland. So yeah, pretty cool. There's a 20-foot Haaland, I think a 20-foot Rashford. I'm at Stockley Park. So if when you're watching football with your boys and they go, where's that referee's room? And you sometimes see the referees watching from afar, the video referees, the video assistant referees. That's from this building, Stockley Park, which is where they all sit, the refs, to make those decisions that are often wrong.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Jay, your microphone keeps hitting your jacket and it crackles.
Rubbish.
It's fine generally. It's just like sometimes when the mic hits stuff, it goes a bit crackly.
I'm going to hold it out.
Yeah, it's still doing it for some reason. It's actually doing it more now.
It was. Maybe I'll just take.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, there we go. Is that better? I'm just going to
get rid
of my mic.
Yeah.
Just go off the laptop.
Perfect. Yeah, it's all fine. That sounds much better. Sorry, a couple of people. Robin said sounded like he was willing to jump off a cliff. He said, "Crackling mic on your jacket. Please make it stop. Don't worry, it's all stopped. We fixed it." Oh, hold on. They didn't hear me say hello to them. So Dylan and Reese, hello. They've just got a message saying that they didn't see it the first time. So they can rewind it in a bit. But hello, Dylan and Reese. Thanks for watching the show, boys. We are going to do some proper work now, though, and start getting into these fixtures that we really need to figure out where we're going with this weekend, don't we?
Yeah, like the big question for many will be how many doublers do you need? Like, we have to err on the side of caution with teams like Liverpool and Luton. Whilst they double now, remember they blank next week. So unless you're planning on using a chip next week, you might not want to overcommit to those two teams. I mean, so far, 77% of the vote in the poll don't think Salah will start. And we've kind of addressed the Salah issue. But what about a poll for maybe how many doublers do you think is a good amount of doublers? And we can do 3, 4, 5 or 6 plus. I think many will go in with 3 City, 2 Liverpool as a minimum, and then maybe some will have a Brentford or a Luton player. But I think most teams will have 5. I've got 6, but I'm probably only starting 5 of them. I've got Bell for Luton. And when we look at these Luton fixtures,
we don't really expect much. I mean, if you're going for an upside defender like a Doherty, then fair enough. You're not necessarily in it just for clean sheets. But Man City and Liverpool, you're going to go big on. If you've got Trent, you've got to sell him because he's injured. But do you sell Trent to a Liverpool defender like a Van Dijk or a Robertson or a Bradley? Or, Dean, would you just swap and look somewhere else? Because a team like Arsenal, sometimes we get blinded by the doubles. If you've not got Gabriel or Saliba, you could just go Arsenal for Burnley. Then they've got Newcastle, Sheffield United, Brentford. They've got great fixtures, but no doubles or blanks. I think if you're selling Trent, my buy would be an Arsenal defender.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I mean, obviously, they have got the blank coming up, and you are going to be caught out from that perspective. I mean, I have brought Bradley in for this game week. I just see it as a fantastic opportunity to own somebody so cheap. And I've still got, I think I can still get around the blank with having him. So I think I'll be okay. But yeah, I can see what you're saying. And too many times we do get blinded by just going for players who've got a double. Like loads of people this week will be taking points hits to get as many players as they can on doubles. And of course that can pay off, but I've tried it before myself and it's just completely not, because a team like Arsenal have gone and won, like, what if Arsenal beat Burnley 5-0? Gabriel scores, suddenly there's all these points coming in for Arsenal players that you might have even decided to chop up for this week so you could get Liverpool, Man City players in. Got to be very careful. Like that Arsenal fixture is a very good one for them.
Yeah, it's really good. And the goal threat of the Arsenal centre-backs, I think we saw against West Ham, but we've seen it in the last few weeks, like that they're a real nuisance at set pieces. Arsenal are better than anyone. And Declan Rice's delivery we spoke about on Monday is so on point. And Gabriel especially is a huge, huge goal threat. Elsewhere, when we look at this fixture ticker, by the way, from Ben Crellin in the Fantasy Football Hub, the beauty of going Brentford and Man City is they just have fixtures. So then you haven't got to worry about the blank. So if you don't have 3 City, I strongly advise you jump on 3 City. And Dean, perhaps in a minute, we'll talk about our optimal triple City, because it's for many, some are looking at defenders, others aren't. And then Brentford, whilst the fixtures are tough, the beauty of Brentford is not only do they play in 26, they play in 29 as well. So, Ivan Toney isn't the worst shout in the world at all. And actually, 2 of the most popular sells in FPL this week, I think on pure numbers alone, Solanke and Watkins have been the most popular sells out there. And that's because a ton are going to Toney. So, yeah, it's a really interesting one.
Yeah. And Toney, I totally get. Since he came back in for his first Premier League appearance of the season, only 3 players have got more goals than he has. He's got 3 goals in 4 games. And Toney immediately has hit the ground running. So it's very hard to find a player that has matched the sort of form that Toney has so far since coming in. And with Toney, I'm not afraid of fixtures. He seems to be kind of fixture proof, to be honest. This is a guy that is taking himself to another level now. This is going to be the end of his time at Brentford. We've seen him sign a new striker this week at Brentford. Like, they've already replaced him. So he will be going, and fixtures like this one is where he will want to be remembered and to show people that he makes it count in big fixtures. Liverpool actually don't have that good a record in London, to be fair. Liverpool have only won 2 of their last 8 away league games in London, which is a bit surprising. And you could say that that's just by chance, or you could say, oh, they don't really like it. Got a couple of big ones. They're playing Wembley the week after, so they're going to have to get over this form pretty quickly if they're going to do anything with their season. But yeah, Brentford are a tricky team. Boom Boom says Toney is a decent shout despite the fixtures. And Lungani says, is Lord Mbeumo close to a match day squad? I haven't heard much about Mbeumo. Have you heard much about him recently?
Nor me. I think he was always due around March, I think. I don't know if he was ever expecting a February comeback. On the website, I think he's got like that orange 75% unlikely to play flag. I must admit, like, not for this game week, unless we hear something in the... I think Thomas Frank's speaking at 1. I think by game week 26, there might be a possibility. And when we look at the Brentford fixtures for 25, sure, like, it'd be nice to bring him in ahead of a double. But in 26, many of us are going to be selling Jota, for example. Like if you own Jota, there's a chance you'll be selling him. Some will be selling Richarlison. Some will be selling Cole Palmer. Those three midfielders are all popular and all don't play in 26. So when we're selling in 26, we're going to want to buy players that we know play in 29. And Brentford are one of those teams that have a good fixture in 26. They also have a good fixture in 29. And Mbeumo's like a under 7 million midfielder. I might go there. If we saw Mbeumo was fit in 26, I'd buy him in a heartbeat. Because elsewhere you're looking at maybe Aston Villa midfielders or West Ham midfielders. So you could sell a Jota to a Bowen or a Kudus, or you could go to McGinn or Douglas Luiz. I'm not sure I love those midfielders. I think I prefer Mbeumo over all of them. So definitely one to one.
That's an interesting one. Anne Catherine says, loves the show. Is it a must to own De Bruyne? I mean, if you watched him in midweek, then it's going to be tricky to say no to that answer. 31% owned at the moment, Kevin De Bruyne.
Because he had a few price rises, didn't he?
Yeah, he's 10.8 at the moment. Obviously, fixtures this weekend against Chelsea and then Brentford. I mean, very hard to overlook. Very, very hard to overlook. And I would personally, I'm happy to have him over Salah for this game week. Like, I'm still okay with that.
It feels like he's had his rest now as well because he missed the Everton game. Maybe we should do a poll. This is interesting. I bet fewer than half of you have got De Bruyne this week. Let's do a question. Will you have De Bruyne this game week? Yes or no? And I bet over half are going without him. And that's simply because they need major surgery to get him in. Dean, we were early adopters, so we're fortunate. I would suggest, though, now, those that were going without Kevin De Bruyne are now going to be more tempted. 3 reasons. Why? His form's been brilliant. He's pretty much playing as a second striker. 2, he's had his rest now, so we feel safe of 2 starts. But 3, loads are selling Trent. And what does that do? It gives us money. If you're selling Trent to Bradley or you're selling Trent to whoever, you're going to be making money. So maybe now you can upgrade one of your midfielders to De Bruyne. It's 2 moves, it's a 4-point hit. But there'll be some out there that look at that because of the Trent injury.
Yeah, I mean, KDB's only started 2 league games in 2024, but he's got an assist in all 4 league games so far. So when he's coming into matches at the moment, KDB, he's got an influence straight away on matches. There's just something about this guy at the moment. I mean, we already knew how special he was. I think like maybe absence makes the heart grow fonder. I don't know, but it does feel like I watched De Bruyne and the way he plays football is just different, man. Like he literally kicks a ball differently and it's just so accurate, so clever. And the gaps that he can find, the precision that he finds is just unbelievable. So I am completely happy. I mean, to be honest, I'm so into De Bruyne that I feel like I want to captain him. Like that's how into him I am.
I mean, I was asked on the FPL show this morning, and a few have said, "Why am I here?" So the fantasy show, go and watch it after this one. It'll be on the app in next hour. I was asked, if you're not triple captain in Haaland, what do you do this week? And my answer was, you definitely use the triple captainship still. Like this is the week to go. But if you're not going Haaland, use the triple captaincy. Yes, Jota and Darwin are good options. But for me, you'd go De Bruyne because the fixtures are 2 homes. And the fixtures, they scored 7 goals against Chelsea and Brentford away from home. At home, if they score 7 again in these 2 games, and I believe they probably will, they've got a good chance of scoring 7 again. De Bruyne could have 4 or 5 involvements. Like if he's on the pitch, and I guess that's the $1 million question. Does he get 2 starts? I think he does.
Of course. Richard says, no interest. Wonderful footballer. But from an FPL perspective, he doesn't carry enough goal threat for over 10 million. How does De Bruyne not carry enough goal threat? I don't agree with
creator
that.
In the league. He's the most dangerous creator in the league in terms of his assist threat. And I'd say, arguably, since he's been back from injury, he's been playing as a second striker. And we saw against Newcastle goal straight away. We've seen a couple of goals.
Yeah. I mean, an assist every 54 minutes since he's returned to action.
No one
He got
competes with him.
16 assists last season. We know that he props up with goals. We know that he'll be on set pieces.
Bonus points
I
are
mean,
plenty. There's very few bonus
bonus
beasts out there.
points. I know he's not the obvious pick, and it's a gamble to go for him as triple captain. It is a gamble to go for him as triple captain, but it's not that big a gamble. The biggest gamble about it is that if
Haaland gets 30
Haaland
points.
flies, Haaland flies. That's the biggest gamble about it, I think.
It's a bigger gamble though, going triple captain someone else this week than not using the chip at all. Because if you're not using the chip at all, you captain Haaland and you still get double points. So yes, you don't get the triple points, but you get the double points. There's not a huge amount between it. If you triple captain another player this game week, you can't get the normal double points on Haaland. So you really need Haaland to have a stinker, which is why I just can't look outside of it. I will be triple captaining Haaland this game week. But if you don't fancy it for whatever reason, I still think you use the chip this week. You just use it on Kevin, or you use it on Foden, or you use it on Darwin or Jota. This week is good for both Liverpool and City, and I'm not sure we'll have another week like it.
Yeah, it's such a big game week. What have you made of Haaland so far? The last couple of weeks, he's getting.
I mean, against Everton, I tweeted after an hour, being like, "I wish I captained Darwin because he hadn't had a shot on target. He didn't score to the 72nd minute, and 70 minutes in, I was thinking, what have I done?" Against Brentford, he missed a ton of big chances. Against Copenhagen, the same, didn't score. But I would just go back to.
He was unlucky against Copenhagen. I'm surprised he didn't score.
He's going to get chances galore in these two games.
He's going to get chances galore, and he doesn't miss this regularly. Rich Hill said Haaland will do it for his grandma. Yeah, he's got a bit of emotion.
Rich Hill. Hey, Rich, what are you doing?
On his side too for this fixture. Will you have KDB in your team this week? Yes, 52%.
Ooh, I was wrong.
Yeah, just edged it.
Still though, it's not as we're like, it's a given. Get him in. Yeah, 52. Only half are going there, and that's purely. I'm guessing over half think he's a great asset. It's just half can't rip up their teams to go and get him in, and he's perhaps not worth that compromise. Guys, do hit that like button, and please do subscribe to the channel. Haaland is a bit safer for minutes than De Bruyne, and I think we probably all agree there. Like Haaland, when he's fit, he's a bit like a Rodri. He just gets every minute. Foden's becoming part of that sort of school of thought too, like a bit of a fitness monster as well.
Yeah.
Would Foden tempt you, Dean, if you were looking away from Haaland and you wanted to triple captain wasn't Haaland? Would you prefer Foden to say Darwin and Jota?
I think so, mate. On form,
yeah, I would.
I'm not sure I can. He's not get another hat trick. I don't know if I'll go that far, but he is in such good form and such confidence, and two home fixtures for Phil Foden is very difficult to turn a blind eye to in a moment like this. So I would, I mean, obviously I haven't got that dilemma, but it definitely would be a consideration. This is an interesting one from John. He said, Højlund or Tony, who is better to hold over at game weeks? Mate, Højlund, I mean, I've said pretty much since the moment he signed that I love Højlund, and I've had to be patient with that because his stats were starting to make him look like a Nicholas Jackson, but I was always confident he wasn't a Nicholas Jackson and that this guy was the real deal. And he's started to return now regularly every single week. He's scoring goals at the moment. Obviously, fixtures determine how we actually read these things, though, not necessarily how good a player is. And Tony with a double, and then West Ham to follow up against Højlund, who's got Luton away and Fulham at home. So yes, one less fixture, but two fixtures where Man United should be scoring goals. Like, they will score at Luton, whether they win or not, who knows, but they'll score at Luton. At home fixture against Fulham, like I'd love to say Fulham are going to go to Old Trafford and win, but even when we do well against Man United these days, they tend to find a way to beat us eventually towards the end of the game, and I'd bank on Højlund scoring in that fixture. Who would you go for? Would you still be on Team Tony?
I would be. I think also looking ahead to game week 29, and I do feel like we're probably a bit blinkered with the blanks and the doubles at times, which is why maybe we're not all buying the third Arsenal player right now when perhaps we should be. But Brentford play in the blanks. They have the double now, and then they in 29, if you're not free hitting like me and you're only going to get 7 or 8 players out, you're going to go after Tottenham players, you might own 2 or 3, Villa players, you might own 2 or 3, and Tony. They're the ones that you'll absolutely own, and then it might be 1 or 2 others. So Tony, for me, will be coming into my team. I mean, I'm going to, a bit like what I've just said about 29, where he'll be a must own. Solanke will be that must own in 28, right? We can see Solanke in 28 has Sheffield United and Luton at home. Like, he will be my captain in 28. And therefore, I'm very likely, if Solanke doesn't play in 29, unlikely he will, it will be Solanke to Tony in 28 to 29. I feel like I've booked that transfer in for a while. And I'm guessing many will agree. FPL Chai in the chat, well, number 40 or 50. Also quite likes Tony. So yeah, good options there, though. Like, there's no right and wrong answer with the forward positions. And it's a shame at the moment. Like, at the start of the season, there was a point where we couldn't really fill those striker spots with 3 players we were really happy with. Now, that we could, I look at the likes of Tony and Solanke and João Pedro when he's fit, and there's a few out there that I'm like, how do I get these players in? As well as still wanting Darwin and Watkins.
Do you still want Watkins? I was just going to say that. Is Watkins still in that?
I think
no doubles for Villa. There's no doubles.
No.
He's obviously not returning. Villa have fallen away a bit. They got, since Pau Torres was out, their defensive record's fallen away a bit. I think Diego Carlos has now got problems. This is a bit of
Kamara's out rest of the season.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, the next 3 fixtures: Fulham, Nottingham Forest, Luton.
So
is a difficult time. Yeah, it's a difficult time to take him out.
I feel like Villa and Watkins both are good at bullying weaker teams, and I don't know if that's a narrative I've got in my head just because of what I saw at Sheffield United a few weeks ago. We got 4 goal involvements. But I'm like, I see those fixtures and go, is there another 20-pointer there for him? Maybe there is. Like, those 3 fixtures are so good. And going back to it again, game week 29 against West Ham, they have a fixture, unlike most teams, because they're at the FA Cup. So he's expensive, but I am riding that wave, and I think he will stay.
Yeah, I'm obviously going to Fulham v Aston Villa tomorrow, and I really don't know what to expect. Part of me thinks Fulham could pull something off there, and part of me is expecting a Villa backlash, and I'm going to see Ollie Watkins bag a couple. So I'll keep him in my team just because if that happens, at least I'll have got something out of the day.
Dean, knowing your boys are watching, we should probably come away from the spreadsheet because that might bore them. So they can see down.
One of them started crying. Apparently they had a fight at the start of the show, and that's why they missed the original hello, because they were fighting each other and they missed it. So then, are
they on the TV or a laptop?
They're on TV. Yeah, they're in the lounge. The TV on. Yeah,
upgraded. We're on Super HD now, aren't we?
Well, Super HD. They're watching YouTube Premium. Mate, they don't ever come off YouTube. Like, that's all that goes on. And I'm going to get rid of Sky soon. Barely gets used.
Wow,
all YouTube.
Really?
All YouTube. Absolutely.
I watch absolutely nothing on YouTube. Like, I don't watch. I obviously do shows on it a lot, but I don't watch any. And was it you and I talking the other day about the Sidemen? I was like, who are the Sidemen? What are the Sidemen? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I've just seen there's a Netflix documentary about the launch of the Sidemen.
I saw that. Yeah.
So I'm going to watch that. I'm really looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, it's definitely it's the generation below ours, I guess, and
millennials.
Mainly have grabbed hold of it. But I have to say, since having Premium, I've dived into it a lot more because it's much more enjoyable without adverts popping up all over the place. There's a lot of football content, which is actually really good to dip in and out of, especially club content, because you can find a lot of the time we're scrambling around for information on clubs, and every club has a good YouTuber somewhere who dedicates their life to, and you can just, especially if you've got Premium, and you can quickly scroll through to the information that you want. I found that quite good. There's loads of other stuff that pops up here and there that you end up watching documentaries you didn't know you needed to see. So I've watched loads of stuff.
Go on.
No, go on. You say, but I'll come to that.
I've started watching, and I do want to get bigger on watching YouTube. I've started watching Miss Rachel because of Gaia. Have you ever
Oh
seen it?
yeah, I've heard of it. I
This
haven't
annoying
watched it.
American lady who's like does kids TV, and she couldn't be more TV kids presenter, like cheesy, like the kids love it. Like Gaia's 18 months and she gets 20 minutes on the laptop in the morning when we bring her into our bed.
Yeah.
And Miss Ray, honestly, and I've noticed, I was with my mate last weekend. We have our 2 daughters with us, and I kept going, "Good job" to Gaia every time she's something good. And he was like, "Good job." He was like, "You're so American." I was like, "Oh my god, that's good
Oh
job,
my
good
God, you're
job."
being
All
taught how
the
to
time.
parent. You're being taught how
Yeah.
to parent.
Yeah. But Miss
FPL
Rachel
Chai,
is a legend.
yeah, totally. FPL Chai says Tottenham content is top tier. Ali Gold is lethal. Alistair Gold, as Tottenham, you might have heard of the journalist Alistair Gold who does
Yeah, I've
Football
seen his
London.
tweets. I didn't know he was on YouTube.
Mate, he's on YouTube. He will sit and do solo shows for up to 2 hours and just sits there, literally on his own in front, once, twice a week, and just reels off like full game reviews, talks about the press conference, talks about other stuff he knows. Like Chai's right, like he is unbelievable. He's doing really well, to be fair, in terms of the content, the amount of it. Nuclear says, I constantly watch YouTube. I'm surprised you guys don't know the Sidemen. I watch them most days of the week. I mean, I do know
No
them.
way.
I don't really enjoy
I
the
didn't
content
actually
that
know
much.
them, to be fair. I saw that KSI has challenged Wayne Rooney to a fight, though, which I thought, I mean, I know KSI is, but I didn't know the Sidemen. But yeah, he's challenged Rooney to a fight.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, ready to see Rooney fight. I think he'll be quite good, Rooney. I just got to get in shape again. That's going to be his biggest problem, isn't it, Wayne Rooney? He doesn't seem.
Yeah, he's pretty big now, isn't he?
His face is
football,
getting bigger by the day.
like, footballers, when you look at certain obviously footballers are all in good shape, but you look at certain footballers who, during their career, when they were out injured or whatever, they have some issues with their weight, and you can, or the perhaps that they go on first week back from pre-season, you see photos of them, you go, oh yeah. Some footballers are prone to being naturally quite chunky. So when they retire, they often will keep the same diet. Footballers eat a ton of calories, but obviously don't have the same level of exercise, and they're not training every day. So players like Rooney were always going to be quite big, just like players like the original Ronaldo. Ronaldo was always chunky, like during breaks or injuries. Diego Costa, and Hazard was going to, Wesley Schneider. There's a fair few. You just go, Maradona. I wonder who the current crop of players are. You go, yeah, they're going to struggle to keep their weight down post-career.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, players definitely are having to be more lenient these days because they are monitored 24/7. But yeah, you're absolutely spot on. And Nick says the overlap is great. I totally agree with that one.
I listened to
the
podcast, I think.
Yeah, no, it is good, but the YouTube show itself is good. Right, what should we talk about next, mate? Should we look at our teams?
Yeah, I think we should, because we've got to do our teams, the Chase team. We want to make sure we have enough time for Q&A today as well. So without further ado, shall we see our teams? Here we go. Who's up first? Oh, I was all ready to say the Walton Rifles, and here we are, Batici's babes. I like my team this week. I'm not going to make a transfer, I don't think. If Porro is injured and Ange Postecoglou is speaking in like the next half an hour, I could. I mean, look, I've got a Stupinan there. I'm actually, at the moment, I've got Bell on my bench and a Stupinan in my 11. Guys, maybe you can help me out. Which of the 3 should I bench? Can we do a poll? Dean, I'm going to ask you the same question. Which of the 3 would you bench? Let's assume Porro is fit. Porro, Bellew as a double, but a bad double, and he offers no upside, or a Stupinan. It's a hard one, that. I think at the moment I'm benching Bell.
I mean, I would bench Bell, yeah. I mean, I think to do badly out of that, you've got to have some bad luck if Bell ends up with decent returns from that double.
I mean, I benched Foden the other week for 20 points.
You did, yeah. But I'd say Foden's a bit better than Bell. No offense to Murray Bell. But yeah, it's just not a good double, is it? And I think that you can feel confident, mate. And like you say, like if you end up making a call like that and it doesn't work out, well, in hindsight, you'd still make the same call, so you can't really have any regrets about it.
FPL Chai's got some useful comments here. And we did see a few journos tweeting yesterday saying Porro didn't take part in training, a doggy neither. But Chai's just said in the stadium yesterday they were practicing with a back four of Davies, Van de Ven, Romero, and Royale. So if Postecoglou, and again, we don't see training pictures today of Porro, the big question for me is, does Porro become a sell or just someone I bench? Obviously, if Stupinan and Bell could start, I could bench Porro. But if I do that, I also need to bear in mind I've got Porro in my team next week where he doesn't have a fixture. So sure, he plays in game week 29, but I've got to think about game week 26 first and foremost. So I could swap Porro for, say, a Bradley or a Saliba. Oh, no, I can't. I'm 0.1 short. I've got Saliba's 5.6 and I've got 5.5.
Yeah.
I mean, I also like the Luton left back, Doherty.
Yeah, I like Doughty too. I mean, Nandish got a point. Like, you can still start Porro. He's either playing or he's not.
He's not going to come off the bench, is he?
He's not coming off the bench. Like, he at this point, like from the situation that we've been led to believe, like Porro's extremely unlikely to just come on for, a little run out at some point. So that is worth considering. Although, seeing my team, I've got a similar dilemma to make in a minute. So I'll talk about it.
You in the chat saying Reguilon, Dean. What's your take there? Reguilon, Brentford player back 5, left wing back, set pieces. He started the last couple, so he feels like he'll be in moving forward. Brentford have got loads of fixtures. They play in the blanks, but the fixtures are rough. For clean sheets,
anyway. Rough to bring him in for here. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be doing that in this moment. No, I personally have no interest in that right now. Like, I understand it like most of the time, but yeah, Gary just said it too. I like Reguilon, but this double is terrible. That's too much for me. Those 2 games.
Yeah. All right. Well, my dilemma this week is going to be, do I sell Pedro Porro or not? And I will know more after the press conference and any training ground pictures. If he's ruled out and he's ruled out for a few weeks, or I mean, let's see. If we think he's only out for 1 game, I probably just hold. But if we think he's going to be out for a while, then I could very happily sell. It's just a shame. My number 1 replacement for Porro would be Saliba. I do think that Arsenal defence, forget about the doubles, you just invest in it. And I've got a spare Arsenal spot. I just don't have the 0.1 I would need. So maybe I would just go, I'm going to go Doherty, get the double game week in now, get it in 28. With regret, though, it'd leave me in a pickle for game week 26. Can see some love for Miss Rachel coming in the chat. Good job. Good job. And Bell is 57% benched by you lot. So, yeah, I think you got it right there. So maybe that'll be how I line up. Ben White, I think, by the way, guys, when he's asking, I think Ben White is the same price as Saliba and Gabriel. They're all like 5.6. And White just doesn't come with the same goal threat. I know he's got assist threat, but I much prefer the centre-backs. Dean, let's see your team.
Yeah, cool. I also have the Porro problem, but actually it might help me out because I don't like leaving what I've got on the bench. So I've got Son in here. I could take Porro out and bring Gordon in and still leave Palmer on the bench, which I'm not loving. I'm interested to see how he does, obviously going back to Man City, and I'm sure he'll have a bit of fire in his belly to get a goal, but ultimately I expect Man City to see off Chelsea. So, but Gordon playing at home against Bournemouth makes me nervous to have him on the bench. So I think I'll probably swap out Porro for Gordon. I've been looking for a way to get him in. I could do Bradley, but Bradley will start at least one of those games, and for me,
is that
that's
mine?
enough.
It's not Dean's.
I don't know. How am I going to know whose internet that is?
Let me know if you can hear us both in the comments. One of us must be having internet problems. Not sure which one of us it is. But yeah, it's interesting to contemplate this because I've been an iron about bringing Bradley in, have gone for it. Now he's in, he's got to play. I think I'll drop Porro out. FPL Matty says, Dean, you say Reguilon is not a good pick because of the fixtures. What about the Luton defenders? They've got terrible fixtures, but yet people are playing them or even bringing them in. The thing is with Luton, they've been they have surprised at times, and I think that because one of the games is Man United, you just don't know what you're going to get from Man United. Like, I still can't trust them. So think
They
we'll.
could keep
I
a clean
think
sheet at Kenilworth Road against United. Like, it's possible.
it's
Brentford aren't keeping
plausible.
one against there too.
Yeah,
Also, Reguilon offers some upside, but not like Doherty. Doherty offers more upside at the moment in terms of assist threat than any other defender in the game. He created
yeah,
9 chances this weekend, Dean, against Sheffield United.
yeah,
9.
yeah. I mean, and Ogbene on the other side, mate. Like I don't know.
Yeah, he's a forward. He's
Um,
playing wing back.
he's playing wing back, and he's been unbelievable recently. I've been really impressed by him. I'll tell you one thing: if Luton are relegated this season, then there's a bit 4 or 5 players from that current team that are going to be earning some decent transfers. That's certainly something that we're going to be looking out for. But at this rate, they might yet even stay up in the division. Everton got a bit of pressure on them at the moment, so that will be interesting to see. In terms of the rest of my decisions, sticking with Solanke mainly because he's got that double coming up, to be honest. Watkins, because he's playing against Fulham and I'm scared of dropping him. Jota talks for itself. I haven't activated triple captain yet, but I will be, and he'll probably go to Haaland. But I've spoken before about the fact there's a small temptation to go different and go De Bruyne, but I probably won't.
Your chip strategy is probably going to be different regardless. So I think with triple captain, you can be a little bit safer.
Yeah, true.
But
yeah, I'm going to...
You're well set, though. You won't like good doublers in play.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
I think Sonny could be a real good differential for you this week. I know he's only got a single game week, but he could go big.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope so. I mean, that Wolves fixture. I mean, I can. The other reason for not having Porro in my team this week is I'm convinced that Wolves do manage to score against Tottenham. I think it's a Tottenham win, both teams to score, and probably a late Tottenham win if they. This season we've learned anything, that this Tottenham team just persistently keeps going, and Sonny's a good one to trust in terms of coming up trumps from that point of view. Colm says Osho, Dean. Yeah, Osho. I wrote about Osho this week actually, and few teams in the Premier League already looking at him. His contract's run out in the season, so yeah, look out for that one. Shall we go on to the Chasers team? Because I imagine we've got a fair bit to sort out there in terms of admin.
Oh God, yeah. We might need Chai's help again.
Chai dragged us into extra time. Chai had me 10 minutes overtime last week. Didn't get paid for it either.
Dean, give us a recap. What did we do last week? Because was there 3 transfers? Adebayo, Jota, and Doherty, I think, all came in.
I did, yeah. That was our 3 ins. CH remind us what you tried to get us to do, because there was definitely something else that was thrown up from your side of things late on, and I think I was like, I literally can't compute any more changes. We're going with this, and I think it turned out all right in the end. I think they had quite a good. Quite a good game week last week, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just have a quick look. 84 points.
Haaland, though, did they? And that was without Haaland captain.
It was a Jota captaincy, yeah. Adebayo got a 5-point return. Jota came in as captain, 14 points, and Doherty only got the 1 point. But yeah, 84 points was definitely a good return. So they're set up reasonably well. And
we've got 2 Liverpool and 2 City. So I wonder if, well,
yeah, we'll change one of them, obviously. So,
what does CH think we should do this week? CH, you've always got great suggestions, so hit us up with your suggestions.
Trent's got to go, hasn't he?
Trent out for Darwin for Solanke and not doing the Jota move. Oh, okay. The chat was asking for Darwin for Solanke and not doing the Jota move.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, we could look at Darwin this week, or we could go Solanke to Darwin now. Obviously, Solanke does have a game in 28, but I think the vast majority will say Trent out. So shall we do a poll which says, shout out Harry Pickering, by the way. Yes, Harry. Hope you're good, mate. We're going to answer your question shortly, Harry. If you're just joining us, we are doing the Chaser team, which is your team, and we're going to be polling what moves to make this week. We've got
2 million in the bank, 1 free transfer. Guys, do hit the like and subscribe button. I am, by the way, at Stockley Park today. If you tuned in earlier, you'd have seen the giant Haaland poster, which is just around the corner, which I showed you guys, which I don't think looked great from the distance I showed you. It could have just been a A4 bit of paper on the wall. Yeah, I'm at Premier League Productions, where the refs sit at Stockley Park. And I know I'm lagging. Sorry, guys. The Wi-Fi is clearly not great. Shall we do a poll saying, shall we sell Trent? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's the easiest way to clear that mess up. And I imagine Trent will end up going, but it's the easiest way to address the problem early on. There's over 300 watching, by the way. Thanks for everybody that is here right now. Shall we sell Trent? Is on your screens now. Please vote. I mean, it's an astounding yes.
Dean, I've got rid of the YouTube comments, so you can see the polls, but I can't, just because I think that's probably part of the reason why I'm laggy.
No worries. Well, so far we've got 60 votes in, and shall we sell Trent is a 91% yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's in no doubt. We can end that right now.
Okay, so we need your ideas for replacements. I think we can have up to 4. So let's go with, I'm going to throw 2 names out there because Chai suggested Ake, Van Dijk, but you could also have Bradley.
Saliba, Bradley.
Saliba. Robertson's an option, but I think we can't have them all. So shall we do Saliba, Bradley, Van Dijk, and Ake?
Sounds good to me.
The other big one is Doherty, who we've all got.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a Man City defender. Rich says Walker. I mean, I've got Walker, and I'm a bit scared about Walker at the moment. So,
Dean, if we've not told it, we could do. Should we replace him with a Man City defender, a Liverpool defender, or other? And then once we know,
the vote is up. It says replace Trent with Ake, Van Dijk, Bradley, or Saliba. So let's see how this goes.
If you vote Ake, we'll give you the Ake or Walker option.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see who ends up winning this. Ake is actually winning so far.
No.
So if that holds out, which it looks like it's going to, he's on 50% at the moment. Yeah, Ake is going to win the vote. So we can open it up and be like,
do you want Ake or Walker?
Yeah, I mean, we could just do a new poll, Ake or Walker, just to make sure that is what everybody wants to do.
Harry Pickering likes Ake, though. Harry is a Blackburn player, so knows his stuff. He plays for Blackburn in the Championship. Harry, are you going Ake? Is that what was Harry's question a minute ago, Dean? Was that around the defensive move?
Let me find Harry's question. Quite happy with my team as on Wednesday, but could do Trippier and Dubravka to Ake and Alisson for -4, or just hold out and hope for the best with a double Newcastle defense. I don't mind Newcastle defense at all for this game week. I think that's a sure right. No, I don't mind it.
Finally getting a clean sheet.
Yeah, fair. I do. Dubravka is going to finally earn me some goalkeeper points.
I'm not sure about bringing Alisson in either. Like, I don't really love the idea of Alisson. I mean, Ian Irvin, who you guys will know from coming on this show fairly regularly, he presents the fantasy show and he was on the official show with me this morning, and he said he was looking at Alisson. Like, he's tempted on Alisson, but I just don't see that one for me. Like, you don't get huge upside with an Alisson. He doesn't play in 26. He won't play in 29. Yes, he's got a double, but I think you can go without Liverpool third asset if you need to.
Yeah, absolutely. Ake won the poll, by the way. He smashed Kyle Walker. He got an 80% vote. So
Ake... Are you confident of 2 starts, Dean?
No
Gvardiol, no Gvardiol, but you could see Akanji or Rico Lewis out of nowhere just get a game at left back, because Pep rotates those defenders a ton in terms of positions. True. I know I've been playing all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Ake feels like as good as you can have to a sure thing at the moment, I think. Now I'm reasonably confident. I think Ake is a pretty good pick. We've done it. Ake is in. We've now got 5.3 million in the bank.
Wow. Okay, Dean, next question. Do we make another transfer? Yes or no? And if we do, we
Oh,
can then
okay.
think about who. But for example, you could go. I mean, when we just brought Adebayo in, so we can't, which we shouldn't sell in, but Adebayo to Darwin, or you could go Lascelles. He's a dead spot. Let's go Lascelles to Saliba, whatever. It would be a -4 though. So we'll ask the question: should we take a hit? Yes or no?
Yeah, let us know if you want to take us to a hit. If you do, then we'll make another transfer. If not, we will get into some questions for the last 5 minutes or so and try and help you guys out as much as we can. So yeah.
Oh God, we've got the bench order as well. Oh, we still need to ask: do we triple captain?
Oh yeah, do we triple captain? CH is getting annoyed here. She wants to chat. Let's see how this -4 hit works out.
Oh, guys, please say no to this because we haven't got enough time. All right, let's assume that's no. Dean, before we do bench order, should we do captaincy?
Yes, it's winning, mate.
No, it's not.
It was. It's coming back in now. It's literally 50-50, but it keeps going in favour of yes. So I want to stop that when it gets to no, so that we can actually answer some questions. Otherwise, we are not going to have time. Mark's like on a timer here. He's like 7 minutes for questions, 6 minutes for questions, 5 minutes for questions. The problem is the poll has suggested we are taking a hit. It's now 53%, nearly 100 votes.
Okay, who do you want to sell, everyone? Like, what's your thinking? Okay, do you want to sell Lascelles or Solanke or Adebayo? They're the 3 options. Or Palmer. We'll give you 4.
There you go. Get the poll up.
Lascelles,
People
Palmer,
what they want.
Adebayo, Solanke. They just like taking hits. Guys, this poll is going to be 10 seconds. Whichever one's leading, we go with.
Okay, it's not up yet. I'll let you know when it goes live. But yeah,
when you hit those buttons, hit the like button as well, team.
Yeah, please do hit that like button. A lot of people in the comments are just writing Lascelles at the moment. There are
Lascelles, guys.
Lascelles out.
Lascelles would be a brilliant sell for now because next week we're going to be in a mess with Lascelles. Like you can't have dead spots. And this goes as a bit of advice for everyone. You can't afford to have any dead spots now because the blanks, we need all of our players getting minutes. So Lascelles for me would be a strong sell. I don't mind that on a hit.
Lascelles is going to win the vote, so he's got 60% of the vote. So
you finished second in that poll with Ake. Do you remember?
He finished second. Who?
Yeah, because that could be our Lascelles replacement.
Oh right. The second in that poll was Van Dijk.
Can we afford Lascelles to Van Dijk? Yeah, we can. We got 5 million.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, he was.
And we've got a little spot up for grabs.
Yeah, we could do that.
Great. Let's do that then. Van Dijk is in. Ake is in.
There we go. We've taken it out of your hands, people. Van Dijk is in alongside Ake. Nice little partnership there. Perfect. Right.
Got a benching dilemma now, though, mate.
A benching dilemma and a triple captaincy.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I mean, you could argue this is
10 minutes talking about my kids watching TV, should I?
Mate, you could bench boost this team now because remember, there's no Trent, there's no Lascelles. Branthwaite is a good fixture. Both our keepers have a good fixture, and we don't want to bench Doherty. So the only bad bench spot would be Palmer, who could easily score against his old team.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Next
people.
question: shall we triple captain, bench boost, or no chip?
Oh, come on.
Sorry, the question's going to be: shall we? Yeah, triple captain. We won't say who. We'll just say, do you want a triple captain? Do you want a bench boost, or do you want to go with no chip?
Yeah, I like the idea of a bench boost. Makes it actually worthwhile doing those extra transfers and actually a completely different plan to what everybody else in the game was doing this week. Right, here it goes. This on screen now, people. Give it a quick vote. Let us know what you think to do with this team. Bench boost, triple captain is pretty close. Bench boost is just edging it out for now. Let's just give it a second to even out because it is pretty close. It's actually neck and neck now as I've got closer to 100. Triple captain's winning We're on
Oh,
75 votes. Let's just let this roll a little bit higher. Bench
Get
boost
voted.
shot into the lead, and now triple captaincy has just like hauled it back in and is probably going to win now. Yeah, triple captaincy is going to win.
Okay, it's going to be Haaland. So, but we'll do a Haaland yes or no triple captain,
Yeah.
and then we got to do bench. At the moment, I'm thinking the players to bench will be Palmer. Oh, I don't even know. Branthwaite
Has to be, I guess, even though it's
and
not a bad pick for
Solanke?
this one.
Might have to be a 4-4-2 week, guys.
Yeah.
Yes,
Haaland
Chai
triple
knows.
look at Chai. Chai, you began all this, mate. Haaland triple
We don't
captain is
own
one.
Darwin.
Mark's got the ump because there's no Q&A. We'll
Mark,
we owe you.
I will be doing a Q&A on my channel later, a dedicated hour on my channel. I don't know, 6 or 7, depends. Yeah, look out for that. We'll make sure we do it tonight.
Yeah, don't worry. You can get an extra show out of G. Yeah, so Haaland is triple captain. We just need to decide on the subs.
Also, we've taken questions as the show's gone on today. We've
done a lot of
flashed a few
questions today. I've answered quite a few as we've gone along. Yeah. We had that middle part when we were racing through some. IG's is
Once you're a
boring.
championship Blackburn player, you don't get your question answered anymore.
You got to be an actual footballer. Mark wants to know what special knowledge Dean brings direct from football horses' mouths. Blimey. Nothing. Let's see. Where are we at, mate? What's the last thing we're going to clear up before we have to end?
Oh, is there not a poll on at the moment?
No, we've got the last poll was the Haaland triple captaincy.
Oh. I've stopped thinking now.
It was
I thought
the bench.
the bench order. Okay. I'm going to give you guys 4 names. You can only start one of them. Which one do you start? Okay. I'm going to put 4. So, do you start Solanke? Do you start Palmer? Do you start Branthwaite? Or do you start Garnacho? Every other player is starting. But we need to pick Palmer, Garnacho, Solanke, or Branthwaite to also start. The other 3 are benched.
Yeah. Michael Scott, sorry, this is tedious. You need to find out how to speed up this section. It's you lot that are holding it up. If you didn't get us to keep going back on things, we'd be fine.
I tell you what we'll do next show on Monday, we will poll, should we sack off the Chaser team involvement and do it privately and just share it with you each week. But if you don't like it, we will get rid of this section. But I think this section's really fun and entertaining. Especially
Mark,
when you have
say we've got to limit Chasers team to 7 minutes. How can we do that? How can you possibly do that if they keep changing the team? Like, it's not possible by the time we get the polls in. Like, we would love to do that. I really want to do that, but it hasn't worked out like that.
I mean, some weeks it's 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's literally the last 3 weeks. It's dragging out, and it's because you lot are making silly changes. Like I'm not expecting any. They say, do we start Garnacho as 1? So the subs are Solanke, Palmer, Branthwaite. And there you go.
Oh wow! Right. So
Mark, if you've got a question, Mark, if you've got a question, ask it, and we'll answer before we go.
Dean, now everyone knows the bench boost. Do you think we should just, for one final time, say the bench is Palmer, Solanke, Branthwaite, and Areola? Do you want to bench boost or triple captain? Now they know the bench. I think we should give them the question.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so guys, we are telling you right now the bench is, and this is the order of it. Areola is in goal. We're going to have Solanke first sub, Branthwaite second sub, and Palmer third sub. Do you want to bench boost or triple captain? It was such a tight vote before when you didn't know the bench. Well, now you do.
Yeah. Mark's getting annoyed. He said, I don't ask questions, but Mark, I'm only kidding, mate. I'm only kidding. I know people want to ask questions. And
And we love
We'll give
Mark.
you-
It was his birthday the other day. He's a Serie A fan.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a loyal chaser. I'm only joking. I'm not losing it. Yeah,
And
the
we
poll will
also
be
love,
up.
we love the banter with our regulars. Like CH and I often have a little bit of lighthearted banter. The beauty of the Chasers is you guys are so loyal and you are our core regulars that we feel like we know you as well as you know us, even though we don't watch you for 2-3 hours a week. So we feel like we know you to banter you. So that's always fun. So thank you for always playing along and joining in with the bants.
Yeah, absolutely. And I promise next week, this section will not take long. And I promise if you want more insight from me about your selections or any news that I've got, I promise I will give it to you. Tex, I'll give you some insight now. West Ham are thinking about Thomas Tuchel as their next manager. If he gets sacked from Bayern Munich, then West Ham are like, oh, that might do us. So there you go. That'll be interesting, wouldn't it? I've just written a bit about that today, and obviously Moyes is still in a job, and there's a lot, and Tuchel's still in a job. But I know that's the sort of manager that could really make them change tack. So if you're a West Ham fan who's fed up of watching David Moyes football, you might be watching Thomas Tuchel football soon. I can't promise that's going to be that much better, but you might get a change.
Huge, though, mate. That would be amazing. I'd be all for that. I'd love to be back in the league. I think Tuchel's brilliant. And by the way, I think Bayern Munich won't have any problems against Lazio second leg in Germany. So I expect Tuchel's to be.
Oh, I don't know, mate. I could see him being sacked after that game. Do you want bench boost? No. No bench boost.
Triple captain it is.
That's triple captain.
Oh, guys, thank you very much. There we go.
Easy
we did it. We did it. If you are here for Q&A, we try and make CGA one of the most interactive streams out there. And not always can we dedicate a huge amount of time to questions and answers, but we still feel like we do it more than the vast majority of others. So hopefully you'll be back on Monday to ask those questions, and we'll make sure we have a huge amount of answers for you on Monday. Likewise, I'm doing a dedicated Q&A stream tonight because I can't do a deadline stream tomorrow. So if you fancy joining on my channel at, I don't know, at 6 or 7 o'clock, then come and check out the James Teacher YouTube show. But if you're just joining now, go back and watch the last hour. You might want to ignore the last 10, 15 minutes of the show, but you will enjoy the first 45, we promise. And there was loads of insight there on Man City, on Liverpool, on double game weekers from Brentford and Luton. So go check that out if you're just joining, and like and subscribe. Guys, thank you so much to all the chasers in the chat. Dean, any final closing thoughts from you?
My closing thought is Sexy Beast just said West Ham are not even in Europe anymore. I didn't know that until last night. They are still in Europe. The last night's Europa games were knockout games to make it into the next phase. So that's why West Ham weren't playing. West Ham are still in Europe. And yeah, I'll leave it there.
Yeah, same as Brighton, right? They didn't have a game, did they? So they join after. Great.
Liverpool didn't play. Yeah.
Good. All right, then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on, is it Monday this week? I think it probably is Monday.
There's a game on Monday, isn't there?
Yeah, who is it?
It is.
There's also games on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a busy old week. We might still do a Monday show, I imagine.
Yeah, we'll still do a Monday show because the games are Tuesday and Wednesday.
It's Everton v Crystal Palace, so I don't think that's going to rock anybody's world. I'm sure we can do a show before Everton v Crystal Palace.
Yeah, and maybe actually the Wednesday show with Big Man Backer, maybe we'll try and move that to the Thursday, so then we can react to the entire game week maybe, and then Dean and I'll be back on Friday. Anyway, good stuff, guys. We'll see you very soon. He's been Dean.
Wicked.
I've been Janny. Nearly forgot my sign off, and we've been chasing green arrows. See you later, team.